So Robinhood got added to the S&P 500, finally. And of course, this is a positive catalyst that has caused the stock price to go up during the aftermarket hours. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain everything that I believe you should know before investing in Robinhood after its S&P 500 inclusion. I really hope that you learned something new, and if you do, all I literally ask you to do is don't forget to drop a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you feel like I earned it. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The platform I will be analyzing Robinhood in today is going to be Moomoo. If you want to download it, first link in the description down below. A quick little heads up. They are offering you up to 8.1% APY and up to $1,000 in NVIDIA stock. And all you have to do is sign up and have an initial deposit when it is that you do. So again, if you want to learn more about it, first link in the description down below. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So S&P 500, what got added, what got removed? Robinhood has made most of the headline because supposedly on the last round, it was the one that was supposed to be added but didn't. And then it caused the stock price to actually go down last time that it did not get added. Today, now we're talking about Robinhood as it did get added. If we look at it during the normal trading hours, let me pull it up right here. So if we look at it on how it actually traded after this news came out during the extended hours, obviously a huge gap up. Originally, Robinhood saw a strong retracement during normal trading hours, hitting lows of $95, and then now hit highs of nearly $111 per share, with a retracement leading to its average price of right around $107 per share. So still a very impressive move during the post-market hours of a 6% move. Now, is this good? Is this bad? Should you buy? Should you sell? What happens? Well, again, I asked this little feature, Moomoo AI, which is a little bit more like ChatGPT when it comes down to investing in the stock market. And I asked, hey, when a company gets added to the S&P 500, what does it normally experience? I just wanted to see based off of data. It talks a little bit about Robinhood of obviously it often leads to short-term price increase due to heightened demand from index tracking funds and institutional investors. I think that's the first thing that you should know. Is it actually a positive catalyst? Yes. It got added to the S&P 500. That's a huge positive catalyst. And there are so many different either institutions or ETFs that track the S&P 500. So they will also most likely mimic the S&P 500 and begin to load up on Robinhood, therefore causing this really nice push. It says normally based off of history, we tend to see about a 10% move within a short period of time. Robinhood itself has experienced about a 7% move so far. The thing that I want to share with you is that, well, who else got added? Because a lot of you guys know is that when a series of companies get added, it's normally 3 and then 3 get removed. So Robinhood is at the top of the list. The second company that some people are skeptical about is AppLovin, and then the third one is MCore. All those 3 got added to the S&P 500 post-market hours on Friday. The 3 companies that got removed are Market Access Holdings, MKTX, Caesars Entertainment, that's unfortunate for them, ticker symbol CZR, and then Enphase Energy. This one reminds me so much of not Robinhood, because it kind of makes sense on why Robinhood is being added. It has actually not just fundamentally, but technically been performing very well. It's one of the top performing stocks for 2025. It's had an amazing performance, and it looks like their team is really obsessed not only in just the stock market, but also the crypto market, which is incredibly trendy right now. So at least for now, it does make sense on why it is that it's getting added. Enphase, at least when it did get added, was an absolute BS company. If you guys have not looked into Enphase, and that's the thing that I wanted you to understand, is that when a company gets added, that doesn't mean that it's made it and that it's going to stay there. If it doesn't continue to meet expectations, again, the S&P 500 is always including and I want to say is always rebalancing their portfolio, removing the old and bad and adding the new and, in my opinion, hyped up, right? Enphase Energy is a little bit different. If you look at Enphase Energy, especially when you look at the larger time frames, you can see why possibly it got added because it was performing exceptionally well. Again, not only just with its stock performance, but its fundamental performance. It had 2 consecutive quarters of exceeding expectation. This stock went from lows of $10 per share all the way up to highs of $339, and now has given back pretty much all its gains and is now back at $34 per share. Post market hours, it's down 2.2%, obviously off of the news that it got removed from the S&P 500, but that shouldn't really surprise a lot of people. That probably was already something that a lot of them were expecting. Again, a great reminder, just because you are added doesn't mean that you have made it as a company. You have to continue to perform. And that is the issue with these hyped based companies that are based off of these gimmicks, right? They're short-lived rallies that, yeah, they might get added because their performance was so exceptional, but then they often get removed. Like MSTR. A lot of MSTR investors is like, oh my God, I can't believe we didn't get added. Really? You're not surprised that a company that dilutes investors and consistently all they do is borrow against their investors at 0% interest. The company itself actually loses money net every single year, year after year, except for the most recent quarter where they actually realized their unrealized gains for Bitcoin, supposedly, right? So we'll see. We'll see how things continue to develop for them, but I am in no surprise that they weren't added to the S&P 500, right? They would really cheapen the entire idea of the inclusion, in my opinion. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think. But Robinhood, this is good news. And if we look at Robinhood's performance, now with where it's trading at 107, that's its current price per share, that's not its highest price level. If you look at it on the daily chart, you can see that Robinhood has had an amazing 2025 from trading lows of what the start of 2025, it's going to be closer to, what is that? Yeah, right around $36 per share. Even during the retracement of the trade war, it's going to be right around $29 per share, and then it has hit highs of 117. So if you're bullish on crypto, if you're bullish on Robinhood, if it's something that has really, itched your entertainment or your curiosity, definitely, I can see why it's something that you're paying attention to. The thing that I want to remind you is that normally the most overvalued and most overhyped up companies are the ones that retrace the hardest once markets begin to downturn. I'm not saying that markets are going to downturn. Of course, no one can predict the future, but like you saw during the trade war, the stock went from highs of $66 per share all the way back to $29 per share, losing over 50% of its value within 45 days. This should just highlight that, yes, Robinhood is highly volatile, something to take into consideration. Also, when it comes down to when a company like this gets added, of course, it has to meet certain criteria. And I think it's important to note that, yes, Robinhood has met a lot of that criteria, although its PE ratio is considered somewhat traditionally high at a 50.3x. It's not terrible. And its profitability has now come into the green. Its revenue has continued to increase. And again, it's at least showing the building blocks of a successful company. And I think that's exciting. I have nothing negative to say about Robinhood other than, again, a lot of these companies that in the short term might be a little overextended and a little overvalued. It's great that they got included, but don't be surprised if you do see retracements that might be a little bit harder with Robinhood than they would with less hyped up companies, because again, its valuation is a little bit more overvalued in comparison to a lot of the others. When we begin to look at their actual earnings and how they've exceeded expectation, this is one thing that I wanted you to see, is that from July, beating expectation, May, the previous quarterly earnings, exceeding expectation, February, exceeding expectation, October, pretty much a break even, August, beating expectation, May, beating expectation. They've done a really good job either being at par or exceeding expectation, which I think is a step in the right direction. Their most recent actual earnings, there was a 40% surprise on their EPS and an 8.9% surprise on their overall revenue. Again, a step in the right direction. So it looks like fundamentally and technically speaking, Robinhood is a good performing stock. It got included to the S&P 500, which of course acted as a positive catalyst. And I want to make it very simple for you to understand. As long as market sentiment and market direction continues to be bullish, it will allow a company like Robinhood to continue to thrive. It is when conditions become less favorable for these overvaluations and maybe reality begins to sink in. I would be very careful if you are leveraged when investing in Robinhood. Again, I think Robinhood can be a great investment while direction is in your favor. If sentiment begins to change for whatever the case might be, the up and coming rate cut, the up and coming inflation report that's going to be this week, just be open to volatility. But those are all short-term things. So just make sure that you understand in the short term and in the long term what your intentions are, and make sure that your investments align with that. So again, I wish you guys nothing but the best. If you guys want to, again, learn a little bit more about Moomoo, if you're tired of your old and outdated brokerage, that's going to be the first link in the description down below. But also do not forget, if you want the ability to watch me trade live every single day, I trade live right at market open. It's designed for complete beginners, and it's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and the second link in the description down below. I appreciate your time, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.